Our most recent adventure really was a dream come true, and it was filled with first-time experiences for me. One of the most interesting first-time experiences was the double Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which I decided to do last minute. There are so many things to do and experience at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Going twice made so much sense to me, but the big question that I want to answer for you today is it worth the extra cost to go twice in the same year? Right off the bat, yes, I do think it was worth it. However, I don't know if I would do it that same way every single year in the future. Let me explain. On this most recent adventure, you may have noticed I got extremely tired extremely fast. The reason is I woke up at 5 in the morning to go to Disney. I was super excited. I barely got any sleep the night before, and then I was up all the way until 2 in the morning after that first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party the next day. Did I have to do that? Of course not. I could have left after the first parade at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, but then I feel like you really don't get your money's worth. I like to stay from the very beginning to the very end simply so I can feel like I spent my money on this. I want to be able to get the most out of it. So on that first day at Disney, I was up for like 20 hours. Then the next day I couldn't sleep in too much simply because I'm at Disney and I'm so excited to be there I can't sleep in. So that lack of sleep really followed me throughout the rest of the trip. Yes, I know I could have tried to sleep in just a little bit more, but for some reason that's just not how I work at Disney. I can try. I did not set my alarm for most of the mornings that I was there simply because I knew I needed just a little bit more sleep, but it just wasn't working. I was still up at maybe 6:30, 7 in the morning and ready for another magical day, and there was no way I was getting back to sleep at that point. Then a few days later I had the second party, which was also super magical, but again very tired the next day. Now let's put the lack of sleep to the side for a moment. The parties themselves were magical. Having 2 parties meant I was super relaxed. I didn't feel rushed. I could take my time. I could meet super cool characters like Elvis, Stitch, and the Gravediggers. That was so cool, and I could just do what I wanted to do and not have to worry about missing anything. I had so much time I was able to try more of those sweet and savory treats that are exclusive to the party. For those reasons alone, I can totally see myself going back for 2 parties in the same year. Without question, I loved it. But next time I would do it a little bit differently. On this past trip, the 2 parties was a spur of the moment decision. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't have changed the number of parties, but I would have changed which day the party was on. Maybe in future years I'll go to the party in the middle of the trip and then closer to the end of the trip. That way at the very end of the trip I'm nice and tired, which I do not mind at all. I don't mind being tired. It's the fact that I was tired earlier in the trip that kind of threw me off just a little bit. I loved it, but that's the small change I would make to make it perfect. So given all of that, I would definitely go to 2 parties in the same year every single year and just space them a little bit differently. That's how I would do it. However, given all of this information, there's one big factor. Is it worth the money, the financial strain to go 2 times in the same year? Going to Disney, especially if you don't live in the Orlando area, is rather expensive. No matter which way you slice it, you are going to be spending a lot of money. And spending an extra $85 or $100 or $120 for another party for an entire family, or even just for myself, thinking of myself for a moment, is just a little bit much. I feel extremely fortunate that I get to go to Disney as frequently as I do, but I'm also very careful with my money, both at Disney and back here. So when I'm thinking about that, I consider maybe I could use that $120, $100 somewhere else and save it for an Alani trip or more on a cruise in the future. So trying to balance all of that, I'm not sure if I can justify it just for myself. It's not that I don't think that it's a lot of fun. Not at all. I would do it again in a heartbeat, no doubt about it. But to me, when I consider my priorities, I love Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It is phenomenal, but I also want to see and do many other things. Alani, Disney cruises in the future, so saving that money for other things does make a lot of sense for me too. So another big question. Now that I've been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party twice in the same trip, if I was to go next year or a future year and only go once on that trip to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, would I feel like I've done enough of the party? I feel like I would have done enough to justify that cost. Would I be okay with it? Yes, I would be. Now, there's no way I'd be able to do every single thing at that one party. I wouldn't even try or attempt to do it. It doesn't make sense. However, I know what to prioritize now, and to me, there are certain things at the party that I really want to see. I could prioritize them, see them, be happy, and then save that money for another adventure in the future. Now, that's just my take on it. I would love to hear yours. Have you been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party many times in the same year in the past? Or maybe now that you've seen the vlog, you really want to try it, or maybe just one in one year works perfectly for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day. FYI, if you get the special pass holder Hatbox Ghost shirt, maybe get a size smaller for yourself. These, I don't know, it's too big.